What's up, YouTube? This is Isis Oliviana 11 Phoenix, and I'm making this video just to touch on some issues that have been on my heart for a very long time, and just to, I guess, bring some things to light that people really don't realize today. Um, as I said in my other videos prior to this one, I'm not a camera person. So I just have to bear with me. I guess I'll probably get louder as the video go on. I get a little bit more comfortable talking. But let me just get right into the discussion. So as far as us in the West, us blacks, and other parts of the world too, we have been grossly miseducated on um, the history, our history, and that's a given, right? We all know that. But we have been grossly miseducated on the role that black women have played in history. I first want to start off by saying that even in the religious aspect, the woman has been written out of her own spirituality. And I think it's a travesty, and it's something that needs to be talked about. Um, as long as we pretend not to see it, it'll continue. And it's on us as a race to um, rectify and correct what has been going on. Um, the first thing I want to say and speak on is the Sphinx of Egypt. And I touched on that in particular because when I first started this journey, I was in my 20s and I was living in Delaware. And I had a lot of information coming into me involving our people. And a lot of history involving Egypt. And it's true. Teachings were revealed to me when I was in my 20s. And now that I'm in my 30s, I was just sitting one day, and I looked at the face of the Sphinx, and it wasn't something I read, it was something I realized on a spiritual level. See, we're all connected as a people. And they say that water holds memory, right? Well, the body is over 70 some percent water, and the body also needs water in order to function properly. So we know that water is symbolic of the celestial waters of Nut, in the womb of Nut, Nut, the heavens, is revered as also water. So what I mean when I say that, and the reason why I'm saying that is that there is nothing within history involving our people that we will not get the download about, okay? Because water holds memory. So every time you drink water, every time you inhale that mist in the air, or that air that's filled with moisture, water holds memory. So even on with us inhaling and exhaling, we're consciously breathing, we're consciously inhaling and exhaling memories also, because water, in whatever form it take, it holds memory. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to say. Secondly, I I have come to realize that in this day and age, I think some of the most valuable knowledge that you can give to us as a people is that when you know what you are, who you are is not a question. You can't know who you are until you know what you are. You know, when you know what you are, who you are, will never be called in question again. And nobody can come to you and tell you that you're this or you're that, because you know what's in here. You know, the priestess says, as above, so below. I'm sorry. The magician says, as above, so below. And then the priestess says, what is inside is also outside. So what I say that is, if you don't know who you are internally, if you don't know what you are and who you are internally, anybody can come to you on the outside and tell you anything, and like a sheep, you know, you'll follow it and you'll believe it because you don't know who you are. You know, the term know who you are, it goes so many ways. Like, you could know your name, you could know your birth date, you could know your mother and your father and still not know who you are. Okay? So until you know what you are, you're always until you know what you are, who you are is going to always be called into question until you begin to start understanding, understanding and overstanding who you really are and what you are, you know, on this planet. That's the first thing that you need to figure out. And so yeah, water hurts memory, and I don't mean to be all over the place, but please stay with me. So one day I was doing research on Egypt, and I looked at the face of the Sphinx, and I looked upon it and I said, God, why does that look like a woman's face? And I know that they say that the Sphinx of Egypt is one of the kings. I made this video to tell you that that shit is a lie. The reason why the Sphinx of Egypt's face was destroyed, the reason why these fucks pretend not to know whose face it is, because that Sphinx is the face, what you are looking at is the face of the Holy Mother. We have been trained to believe that it's a man's face, but it's a woman's. And if the sun rises in the Sphinx face, and the Bible clearly states that the Lord our God is a great sun and a consuming fire, the sun, okay? So who could ever come to you and lie to you about the identity of the Most High God when you see the sun rise up in her face every single sunrise? The sun rises in the face of the Sphinx, declaring to the world that the identity of God is indeed a black woman. Your Most High God is not man, it is a woman. And they give a lot of information about that even in your Holy Bible. They say that no man, oh, I'm gonna get to that part, but anyways, there's a lot of evidence to back up what I'm saying involving the Sphinx, because a lot of ancient cultures really didn't depict the Sphinx as a man. That's something new. The old ancient folks of the world always depicted the Sphinx as a woman. Okay? So the reason why your enemies destroyed that face is the same reason why they destroyed any temples resurrected in honor of the goddess. The sacred feminine being worshipped as God was being taken down, you know? And that's your first clue to what's really going on here. That's your first clue to what's really going on and what's really being said in the Bible. You just have to pay attention. He said that the Bible, and the Bible is not my go-to book, but because it has been tampered with greatly, but you can still get a lot of information out of there, right? So in one of the books, I believe it was the book of Enoch, where he said, just as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man. And nobody quite get what that means. But if you're familiar with science and alchemy and just the science, I said once you know what you are as a black man and a black woman, once you know what you are and your role in the Holy Trinity and what you do and what she does, you understand that when God says, so shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man, what you think he talking about? See, here's the thing. Um, in order for you to become a son, in order for a son to be a son, um, and even when you break down the S, the U, and the N, and you take it back into like the metal netter, a lot of these symbols, such as the S, the U, and the N, is feminine. They're symbols that they're not feminine energy. So that's another clue. But anyways, we're gonna get into that. But so yeah, um, you're not even considered. You become a living soul, a car, once you enter the womb of your mother. It's the heat of her body and the warmth and the pressure of her womb that turns you into a star or the sun. The goddess knew what the stars aligned in her body. So when God says, just as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man, he's not talking about, see, what you need to understand is you're not a man. If you are the children and the offspring of God, then what does that make you? Let me say it again. If you are the offspring of God, then what does that make you? Okay? Man and woman combined. Man carries the seed. The woman carries the son. This is why in all ancient cultures, the woman was always seen as the one bearing the light, because she literally bears the light. We're not talking about all women, let's be clear. We're talking about that melanated woman. She is the light bearer because she bears the light. You enter in one way and you come out a son. And there's so much proof of this. Say for instance, they say that we are 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, and 6 protons, 666. An element is determined by the number of protons that it has. Carbon has 6. Anything consisting of 6 protons is carbon. Well, you are 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, and 6 protons. You're carbon, right? The carbon cycle on the planet is you. Let me say it again. If you learned about the carbon cycle in school, then you understand that the carbon cycle is you. Carbon dioxide is produced anytime something organic is burned. Keep that word organic in mind so you can understand what the hell I'm talking about. Carbon dioxide is produced anytime something organic is burned. Now we know that the trees and the plants create the oxygen, okay? We breathe in that oxygen, and in turn we breathe out carbon and oxygen. The oxygen we breathe in binds with the carbon that's in us, and we breathe that carbon dioxide out. But carbon dioxide is produced anytime something organic is burned. So ask me this, so answer me this, black people. What the hell is inside of you that is burning and that is organic, that is creating the carbon cycle on this damn planet? They say in the beginning it was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word is God. You are the Word literally made flesh. Every time you inhale and exhale, you declare who you are, and you don't even know you're doing it. You don't even know you're doing it. These plants and these trees are taking what you're breathing out and binding it with hydrogen and light, photons, light. And they're absorbing that, and they're creating food from themselves, and thus food for you too. So you're going to sit here and tell me that you don't know you God, but you creating a carbon cycle on the goddamn planet? Do you not know what you are and how important and very vital you are to this planet? See, this is why they will take us down few in numbers, but they will never wipe us out. Make no mistake about it. They will never try to wipe us out completely, because without you, there is no life. And there's a very powerful reason why the Sphinx of Egypt is a woman. That is a woman's face. And why she's sitting on that Giza plateau in the manner in which she is. Okay? When you do your research on the Hebrew name for God, the first symbol in the name for God in Hebrew is feminine. And guess what? It resembles a throne. If you look at the symbol, it looks a lot like the throne that the kings and the queens of Egypt sitting on, that little H square looking symbol. It looks exactly like that. So what are they saying? But they said that the goddess Aset, I mean, you hear her name is Aset, I sit, I set, I set, I sit. You know, that's another form of saying her name, I sit. She's telling you I sit. You know, she is the throne. Your mother, that black woman, is the throne. And all ancient cultures at one point in time worshiped the image of the black woman as God. But do you think they did that for no reason? You know, our ancestors didn't do much of shit without a reasoning behind it. So there was a very powerful reason why they worshiped her as God. When you look upon that Giza plateau and you look in the face of that statue, you are looking at the face of the Holy Mother. That's who you're looking at. You are looking upon God. The word is in search of God, and you looking at her and been staring at her face the whole time. I have part 2 coming up.